UFC 102. Welcome back to
The Fight Card.
We're back, guys, live in Portland from our hotel room. We just got back from the weigh-ins. I mean, it was pretty amazing.
It's a good day. It's looking good. We got some exciting fights tonight. We got a few predictions. We're not going to be able to get to them all, but for the rest of our picks, go to fightcardguys.blogspot.com.
As
we have
always.
a lot to say. Let's get right into it. Real quick.
Yeah,
You had
let's
to
start.
pick from Brandon Berry and Szynski. Who do you think?
I'm taking my man Szynski. I got him. I think he can take him.
I think Vera's finally looking good again, but I think I usually don't put all my eggs in one basket, but I think Szynski's real deal. I think this is going to be a big win for him, and he's finally going to break into that top-tier fighter category.
Absolutely.
Next up.
Leben and Rochold. Who you got?
I think Rochold, being kind of the new guy that he is, I don't think he's really ready to go to war like Leben's ready to go to war. I got Leben with the hometown crowd.
Oh yeah, Leben was pumped to be back here in Portland, coming to fight, and he looks good. He's a solid fighter. I think he's just flat out better than Jake is, so I think he's gonna get that win.
We saw him in the parking lot and he was looking real ready. We talked to him for a sec. I think he's gonna win.
Oh yeah. All right, next up, big fight, Damian Maia and Nate Marquardt. What do you think about this fight?
These are two of my favorite fighters. I'm kind of mad that they finally have to fight each other. I want both of them to win. I think Marquardt's the bigger, stronger, more athletic, better fighting guy, but
Absolutely.
I think Maia is the best jiu-jitsu fighter in the world.
Absolutely.
So, like they say, if Marquardt could keep it on the feet, I think he's going to get the win. If Maia brings him to the ground, he's going to pose some interesting threats. But I think Marquardt will be able to handle him on the ground. I'm picking Marquardt to win.
I think he's gonna be too big and too strong to let all that jiu-jitsu stuff really get to him and get beat that way. It's funny because at the weigh-ins, Nate Marquardt says, I'd prefer to keep it standing, and then Maia says, I'd prefer to have it on the ground. So we're really going to have to see who's going to impose their will.
Yeah, who's the more dominant
And if I had
fighter.
to pick someone to impose the will out of the two of them, it's going to be Nate Marquardt, and I
Yeah.
think he's going to stand up. I think he's going to win this fight. So.
I think whoever wins this fight gets the title shot next.
Absolutely, and I would love for it to be Nate Marquardt.
Again,
I would love to
the
see that fight
rematch.
again.
I want to see it. I think he could beat Anderson. Moving right along.
All right. We got Keith Jardine
The Dean of Mean,
versus...
Thiago Silva. What do you think? I think Thiago's more of a killer, but I think Jardine's more of a gamer. In Thiago's last performance, you can't really look at his last performance against Lyoto and really make anything out of it. Everybody looks like a fool against Lyoto, but I just didn't really see his drive and determination. I wasn't really impressed with Thiago. I think Thiago's record makes him look overrated.
Oh, yeah.
I think Jardine's record makes him look underrated. I like Jardine.
I think Jardine has proved that he can hang with the big dogs. He can go out there and fight.
Absolutely.
He fought with the best of them, and it's been proven. He fights the top-notch guy every fight. He hung with Rampage for 3 rounds. He hung with Chuck for 3 rounds. This guy comes to fight,
Yeah,
and I
absolutely.
think he's good. He's
Yeah.
real good, but he keeps getting matched up with guys who are just a little bit better than him.
Yeah.
And I don't think Thiago Silva's one of those guys. So.
I'm a little bit scared to pick Jardine. I'm kind of rooting for him. I'm in his
Yeah.
corner. I think he has what it takes, and I'm more just hoping that he wins. I'd like to see him win, but I could see both of them taking this fight.
I think as far as history tells us when it comes to Keith Jardine, it's win-loss, win-loss, win-loss
Mathematically,
every time.
Keith Jardine
he
wins
has
this
to win
fight.
this fight. And I don't like to go against history, so
Yeah.
I'm taking Keith Jardine in this fight.
All right. Main event, we got the natural Randy Couture with the hometown crowd again versus Minotauro Nogueira. I'm saying, if you want to throw Fedor in the mix, you have Fedor and Nogueira and Randy Couture. You could easily put them 1, 2, or 3 any way you wanted.
Yeah.
Best heavyweights fighting right now.
It's going to be a very interesting fight to see where it goes, how it plays out. Antonio Nogueira has good hands. He has good stand-up. Frank Mir kind of embarrassed him in his last fight, but, I mean, he
Absolutely.
does have good stand-up. We know how deadly he is on the ground.
He's ready to go to war. He's one of those guys that gets better as he gets
Oh, yeah,
hit.
every time. And, I mean, it's Randy Couture. We know what to expect from Randy. We know what he's going to do, and we know that he's flat out one of the best fighters to ever do it.
They've both been through history. They've been through their fair share of wars. What's
Right.
funny is Randy Couture's pushing 50. He fights like a 30-year-old. Minotauro's 30, and he fights like a 50-year-old. His last fight against Mir, he looked real old. But at the weigh-ins, he was looking good.
He looked good. I think that's the best shape
Yeah.
I've ever seen Nogueira.
Yeah, he
in.
looked good. I think I think Nogueira is an athlete, and on the ground he's going to put his fair share of fighting up, but I think Couture is going to be able to grind him out. The only thing I'm scared about is Couture likes to fight in close quarters. He likes to get his Greco-Roman on. He likes to get his dirty boxing on, and that's what Nogueira is going to want.
And that's dangerous.
Yeah,
that's dangerous
he wants to get close.
His black belt caliber.
Yeah, if he could get you close and get your body up against him, and Randy likes to put a lot of guys into the cage, Nogueira could work with that. But I think at the end of the day, Nogueira is not going to be able to really get off many submission attempts. Couture's been through it. He's ready to go. I think he's just going to grind him down. I like Couture in this fight.
Couture also, we've seen the older he gets, with each fight, with each weigh-in, he somehow looks better than he did last time. And dude looked big today.
Yeah.
He looked big out there. And I think, he's like you said, he's been there. He's done it all. And, he's not going to get caught in anything silly. I don't really see him getting armed, the job done.
Here's Randy Couture in his last 16 fights has fought to defend or fought for the heavyweight title. This is the first time he's fought for a 3-round fight, and he's still fighting one of the best guys in the world.
Still.
So, and also, Couture's finally fighting a guy his size. His last couple fights he's fought Tim Sylvia, Brock Lesnar, Gabe Gonzaga.
Big guys.
Couture can finally fight a guy where he could handle him.
Yeah, and we both know what it's like to just get beat up by guys bigger than you all the time. And when you finally come down to someone who's your normal size, it feels like it's almost unfair. You feel comfortable.
Absolutely.
You feel good. So for him to go and handle Brock Lesnar the way he did, he pushed Brock Lesnar around a lot.
Absolutely.
To come down to someone Nogueira's size, it's going to be a relief, and it's going to feel good. And I think he's going to be real comfortable. And I think it might kind of look like a lopsided fight. I think he's just going to come in ready to go to work.
Yeah, today he looked huge.
Yeah, I don't want to get too ahead of myself, but I feel like Randy's ready to go. He looked ready. He looked calm. He looked cool. He's the natural. This is what he does.
Absolutely. So there it is. Like we said, we got some blogs up at fightcardguys.blogspot.com.
Yes, sir.
See how we feel about the rest of the fights, the pre-fights. That's it. Catch you on the next show.
Later.
Fight card!